Country 99.5, country's biggest legends. Clay Walker there, and If I Could Make a Living. Hey, it's Tanner. Glad to have you spending your Friday with us. I am joined right now on the phone by one of our favorite country legends around here. She is the most awarded female country recording artist, and also she won the ACM Artist of the Decade for the 1970s. She comes from Butcher Holler, Kentucky, and just released a book called Me and Patsy Kickin Up Dust. Loretta Lynn, how are you?
I'm doing great, Tanner.
Hey, what does quarantining look like for Loretta Lynn? What have you been doing?
Not too daggone much of nothing. I'm just sitting around. I ain't going to work. I think that's what they made quarantine me for, is to get me back to work. And I told them I worked before I got here, and I ain't working now.
Well, I know you've certainly been busy. You just released a book, Me and Patsy Kickin Up Dust.
Right. Me and Patsy did kick up a lot of dust, I'll tell you, and a lot of dirt, too.
Well, this is not your first rodeo when it comes to books. You wrote back in 1976 an autobiography, Coal Miner's Daughter, and since have written a couple other autobiographies, a cookbook, and now you're telling the story of your friendship with Patsy Cline. So why now? What made you want to get this story out into the world?
I think it's good because Patsy, her little namesake, is still alive and kicking and having a good time. Her and I was sitting around talking, and we decided to do it.
So the namesake you're talking about there is your daughter, Patsy Lynn Russell, who actually co-authored the book with you. So what was that like, writing a book with your daughter?
Oh, it's great because it's kind of like being with Patsy, you know?
Oh, really? Does your daughter remind you of Patsy Cline?
Oh, yes, every minute of the day.
In what ways?
Every way.
Well, while you were writing this book, what were some challenges you faced, if any?
I didn't face any challenges. I just kept writing. Said to hell with everybody and everything.
I love it.
This is my book, and I'm going to tell it like it is. And that's what I did.
Well, let's talk about Patsy Cline. If you could describe Patsy in one word, what would it be?
Great.
You also say in the foreword you describe her as authentic. What was it about her that made her authentic?
Well, she was the first to do anything that was really great about music.
You and Patsy certainly shared such a special friendship, and you say, too, that you dedicate that book to all the women who haven't yet found that friendship.
Oh, yeah. I just hope all the girls have a good friend, because there's nothing like a good friend. And you have to work at it yourself. You have to make this friend a good friend yourself, too.
So for those women who haven't found that friendship yet, what would your advice be to them, and what do you hope they take away from the book?
Well, I hope they take away a thought of getting to know a good friend and making a good friend on account of this book. That would be great.
Well, in conjunction with the book, you also recorded a cover of Patsy Cline's I Fall to Pieces. Came with a great music video showing all kinds of pictures and illustrations. That had to bring back a bunch of great memories.
Oh, yes, it did. But I had to live with that, too, you know. And nobody else did, but it was good for everybody else to see.
So how did all that come together?
Dolly helped me.
Oh, really? Dolly?
You know, I'm going to holler for Dolly when I get in trouble.
Absolutely.
Me and Dolly are close. You know, we've been together ever since both of us been in Nashville. She was on the Porter Wagner show, and I was on the Wilbur Brothers show. So we've been together since in the early 60s.
Have you talked to Dolly lately?
Not a lot, but when we need each other, we know how to find us.
Well, you know, you hear all the time that you and Patsy Cline really paved the way for other women in country music. So what does that mean to you?
That means a lot, because anything I can do to help a girl singer, I will do it. And if they need me for anything, they know how to get a hold of me. Just call me up, and if you need me to help you with anything in a song, I'll help you, honey. Just call me.
Who are some of the new country artists that you help out?
I always love Miranda.
Miranda Lambert, really?
And Miranda's a great singer. You hear that, Miranda? Come and see your old friend, Miranda. We need to get together now and then, because we learn from each other.
Let's go back in time here real quick. Your first single, 1960, I'm a Honky Tonk Girl. If you could tell the Loretta then what you know now, what would be the one piece of advice you would give her?
You know, my younger self done it just about right. She kept working her butt off, and she did it. And there's no other way I could say that she made it, because she worked at it. And nobody else was going to make it unless they work at it. I was doing everything I could think of, and everybody was saying, "Boy, you're doing the wrong thing." I said, "Good. strong, then somebody's going to holler.
What was one of the biggest challenges you faced when you were starting out then?
I think the people that tried to keep me from doing what I wanted to do.
Well, it's got to be pretty fulfilling then, looking back and thinking, man, I really showed them.
I did. I just kept working, and I worked harder than they did. And whoever's trying to make it now will have to work harder than I did. And that's going to be hard work, but girls, you'll have to do it. Because I laid the line out there for you to follow, and if you're going to make it, you better work hard.
And you know, I think that's a good piece of advice, regardless of music industry or not. Work hard and don't let anybody work harder than you, and you will certainly make it. Loretta, thank you so much for taking some time to stop here and talk with us.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Well, it's been an absolute honor, and we're definitely proud to play your music here on our station. And let me tell you, too, there are some serious Loretta Lynn fans here in Northeast Oklahoma.
And I love every one of them. You know that? I love every one of my fans. I don't call them fans. I call them my friends. They're the greatest. They're the ones. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Yeah.
Because they worked as hard as I did. Some of them worked harder. They worked side by side with me most of the time, and we all got acquainted with each other that way too. And that's what's great. We'll never let each other go.
That is certainly the truth. And before you go, too, let me ask, Loretta, have you got anything else up your sleeve? Anything, projects you're working on?
I got a new album that'll be out soon.
Well, I cannot wait to hear that. We will certainly keep an eye out for that. And also, of course, going to want to go get a copy of me and Patsy Kickin Up Dust book just released.
Yes, you all, if you haven't got this big book, you need it because maybe it'll help you with your first friends.
If Patsy were still around, what would y'all be doing while you're quarantined right now?
If she was still alive, there's no telling what we'd be doing. We'd probably already had Nashville tore up.
Well, thank you very much, Loretta. Hey, you stay safe.
Thank you, sweetheart. You know I love you.
I love you too, Loretta. You have a good one.
Okay, baby.
Bye.
Bye-bye.